Hey guys, welcome back to Bonnie and Clyde Discuss. Today's topic is why men can't attract women anymore.
I wonder.
Let's look into this. So we've got clips for today, some funny ones, some topics for discussion. We're going to go really into this topic. I'm looking forward to it. You ready?
Yeah,
let's get into the first clip.
More and more men are unable to find a woman to have a meaningful relationship with. Here's one part of the equation. Women are losing interest in men globally since social media and Instagram exploded. You see, the amount of extremely valuable male attention that women have been able to drain from the male population is immeasurable. Your attention and your focus is your value as a man. And the more of it you give to random women online without getting anything in return other than that little dopamine hit, then the more power women are draining from you. Women have weaponized the internet to steal your sexual attention. Being able to not waste your attention on these things is a superpower. Instead, focus that super valuable energy on meeting and attracting real women in real time, in real life. Follow this account for more great tips.
You won't follow his account then, will you? Right, so there's actually 2 points on this one, I think. What he's trying to say is, yes, women have done a bad thing to a certain degree and like weaponize the internet, and they've used it to their own nefarious means to a certain degree, right? The more important point I think that he's getting at, far more important, is that men are doing it. We have fallen into the trap, right? They have sprung it. Yes, they're bad for doing that, but we fell right into it.
You continue falling.
We continue falling
it's just
for this
non-stop, like
every
sheep
time.
falling off a cliff.
We have gone lemmings over the line thousands of times, right? So, you know, when you go to the club, or we use the club a lot as an example of it. When you go to the gym and you hit on all these women, or you go to brunch and you hit on all these women, then, you know, you're really pandering to that attention that he's talking about that the woman has weaponized to a certain degree.
I think information is cheap. I think it's very easy for men to just like, yes, yes, beautiful. And I can see how that
Smiley
can...
face.
Yes. Hard eyes. I can see how that can be, you know, it becomes even cheaper than the information itself. I mean, a like means nothing these days, especially from a random person. I don't quite understand the validation that you receive from random people on the internet. My Instagram has always been private. I have felt that it was weird when random people would like my photos. I wanted it to just be people that I knew, because those are the people that I care about. So I understand, yes, maybe women have sprung this nefarious trap, but men have fallen into it, and it just perpetuates the cycle, and it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to get out of it unless social media comes crashing down.
Let's move on to the next clip.
Here's my diagnosis on men, why they can't attract women. They don't have confidence. They've been told they need to be like this person. They're not good enough. It isn't until you start realizing that you are good enough and you start accepting yourself for all your flaws and all your fucking goofiness and your receding hairline or your hairy back. Accept that shit, or nobody else will. It's when you try to be something that you're not, you don't attract shit. Why? Because you're not being something. You're mimicking. Be you. It's the only thing you can be, and you gotta own that shit. You gotta accept that shit, flaws and all, goofiness and all, imperfections and all. Accept it, or else no one will know that you are acceptable, and they'll treat you as unacceptable. And you're like, why does everybody abuse me? It's like, no shit, because you do it to yourself. You know what I mean?
All right, interesting clip from Mario there. What do you think? Any points?
I agree with that. I think you should just be you. I have always believed in being the most natural that I can be, aside from a little bit of makeup to enhance. But most of the time, as you know, I don't wear any makeup. I don't have any enhancements. This is all real. And you're hard-pressed to get me to shave. So anyway, I think if you're who you are naturally, it's far easier to attract the person that you need to be with, because if you're putting on lots of fake things for men, and you know, as a man, I mean, if you're putting on airs, you're being very fake, then when you attract someone and all of that veneer comes off, who are you? So it's just like Avril Lavigne's song, you know, Complicated. Why do you have to go and make things so complicated? You're putting on this fake persona, and that's not you.
You do, and you should always fall in love with the person in the morning, right? So guys, like, if your woman is coming off the pillow and she's leaving half of her face on the pillow, that's the girl that you need to be interested in, not the person at night, right? So there's two sides to this as well, because there are improvements that you can make to your life over time that are gradual, that are non-transferable to a certain degree, right? And then there's ones like makeup and bigger boobs and stuff that can be quickly done to make you better, right? And there are two camps. because like I can say, yeah, I'm not attracted to women that are faking it by having makeup on or anything like this. I could say something like that, and you can rebuttal saying, oh, I don't like guys that go to the gym too much and put on muscle and stuff like this, right? So, you know, there's both sides to this coin, but I do fully agree with the point that you can make yourself better long term. You can learn, you can read books, you can go to the gym, you can make yourself more healthy. Those are legitimate things that people should be interested in.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? But the ones about, yeah, as you say, like improving yourself to the point of making you just quickly better in 5 to 10 minutes, garbage. Get used to it. And like as a guy, you have to know that if you're not being yourself, you're going to attract the wrong person.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to work for you long term. But you also have to accept that you're probably not going to be attractive to as many people either.
Yeah.
But you will get there in the end.
Right.
Play it safe. So cyborgs out there, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let's move on to the next clip.
Yeah. To know single men, why you don't pursue anymore? What's up?
That is a great question, and in my experience, I learned really fast in the dating world that if I pursued a woman, they lost interest for whatever reason. And I discovered that if I just became a little bit more hard to get and more into myself, that I had more success with women. So to answer your question, why men don't pursue women anymore, it's because we just got in contact with a lot of bad women who taught us that's the way to be successful. And we forgot there's a small minority of good women like yourself who like the traditional pursuit, but we don't encounter enough of you. You're like the 10% of the 100 out there. So that is why men don't pursue anymore, because we know 9 times out of 10, they'll lose interest.
Well, this kind of comes back that we've said a few times now, is like women have more options than guys, right? And 9 times out of 10, the guy will be more like, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to do something? Do you want to do it? He's got a lot of energy, he's got to do it. And that's fine, but everybody's the same way, right? So everyone's blending in, everyone's the same. And nobody wants the people that blend in, they want the people that stand out, right? The standout ones are the ones that really get the attention. So what he's trying to say is like, you will have more effect if you play it nonchalantly and say, okay, I'm going to give you the attention that I think you deserve and no more.
Okay.
Right? And I think that works relatively well for the same way around, especially the attractive guys, the guys that get all the attention from women, right? You know, play it cool, right? No one wants like a clingy person. No one wants too much controlling measures. You know, be yourself, as we said in the last clip, and just be steady. Don't be over energetic and don't try and commit to people too quickly. Just play it cool, ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. I've had friends who would not, and I mean absolutely would not, make any kind of move towards a man, yet yearning for marriage. She decreed that like she was not going to pursue a man had to pursue her, and that was the only way that they could get off on like onto their lives. She had gone out on dates with boys. I say boys. At the time I think they were boys, and maybe they've become men now, but she had gone out on dates.
Maybe they've been men now. Yeah.
Let's hope. She was going out with boys and they would not give her any sort of follow-up. And I know that could mean they're not interested, or it could mean they're waiting for her, and she would not do anything to nurture the little fire.
I mean, most women are stupid to men and most men are stupid to women, right? Like, we don't understand how the other genders work, right? That's kind of why we wanted to start this, so we can explain it to you, right? But most people just have no idea how the other gender works. You can't take most of this stuff at face value. Like, guys don't really work in the same way dating visually, right? We've got loads of things going in our heads and we're trying to plan stuff out, and we've got maybe a couple of women as well on the go. Like it's all behind the scenes, right? Women can't see it from straight away. In the same way that you've got your little gems that you take away from us as well. So, you know, you've got to put your best foot forward, but not too far. And like, don't try and pursue that person. Work at the same rate as they are, and you'll probably end up at the same place.
Yeah, with that particular friend, you're working at a rate of molasses, so maybe in about 20 years they'll reach somewhere.
Glacial is the progress we're taking, isn't it?
But I mean, I understand that there's also a fine line between pursuing someone and being possessive. Sometimes when women see a man pursuing so hard, you're afraid that that is what's going to lead the relationship into the future.
Absolutely, and that's when the restraining orders come in, right?
Yeah. All of them.
All of them. Just
all of them.
Get those out there.
Rain.
Well, let's get on to the next clip, shall we?
Why is it that the new generation of men want to be pursued? Like
I got 3 reasons in mind. Most women have perpetuated the idea that they want to date the top 1% of men. And the majority of men are aware that we are painfully not that guy. 2, Women aren't aware how horrible they are when it comes to rejecting men. Like so many times now when a man goes out on a limb to just approach a woman and let them know that he's feeling her. Like women don't understand. There's only so many times you can get rejected before you say, fuck this, I'm not doing it anymore. Final reason is simple. A lot of women have pushed the idea that they want to be left alone. And how many times must a man hear, leave me alone, I don't want to talk to you, before we say, go, we won't fucking talk to you then. Let's just go chase some money. But our best solution is only want people who want you, aka pursue me fast. But the problem is women don't want to taste that rejection that they be handing out so freely. So if you want to be independent, act like it.
All right, so I'm glad the camera didn't pan too far down because the questions would have been arising whether I could use this clip on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it didn't, right? But he was obviously naked. But his content was interesting, right? So there's a couple of points he made there. Let's focus on that first one of women rejecting men and how harshly they do it.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, I've not had that experience of being a mean kind of rejection giver. I try the fade away tactic. That doesn't usually always work.
Ghosting?
I don't ghost, but I will just say, maybe we should meet up this time. Maybe we should hang on and meet up another time.
Yeah.
And then at the next time I'll say,
maybe.
I wish you all the best and luck in your search.
Yeah. And then slap him.
Goodbye, farewell.
So that's not how most women will do it because you're a little bit special, aren't you, Bonnie?
I'm not a snowflake, but I guess I'm learning so much.
Learning a lot on this channel. This is a voyage together for sure. But most men will get viciously dumped, either dumped or ghosted. Right, that's majority of the time, one of those two. We can also do a bit of ghosting and savagely dumping ourselves, but again, we're taking generals with this channel. There is also the point he was making about once you've done it or received it 5,000 or 6,000 times, it gets a bit grating.
Yeah.
And that's a real big thing of guys just giving up a little bit and maybe the quantity is not what we're looking for, maybe the quality is what we're looking for. But then if you're not going through the sea, right, if you're not checking every fish that comes through, you don't know, right? So you lose a lot. Some slip through your fingers.
When you get fed up, yeah. Yeah, and I will say there was one person that I was communicating with and he kept calling me and I knew that I didn't want to talk anymore and so I just didn't answer. But at a certain point I felt you know what, that's not fair and I owe this person an explanation. So I called and then had the audacity to say, why didn't you call one more time? And he said, well, I figured it was done.
You had the audacity.
I did, yeah. And so
it's my favorite Instagram clip.
Oh my God, you've derailed my train of thought now.
Perfect. Should we move on to the next clip
Yes.
then? All right, on to the next clip.
I don't believe women should have to come over and start a conversation with a man. I think that's a man's job. I'm just old school with that. But then I watch these videos.
Stop approaching women when they're alone.
No, men are weird. Stop talking to women you don't know.
Do not approach a woman who did not inspire that. No.
I hate when men approach women.
So should a guy ever approach a girl in public?
I don't think so, no.
Is it too direct for a stranger to come off the street or in a restaurant to say, oh, I think you're really interesting and get your number there? Is that?
Of course, because I had those type of situations. It's weird.
So for the men who say they don't want to go over there anymore, in the great words of Chris Rock, I'm not saying men should stop going over to talk to women, but I understand.
All right, so we got the Chris Rock quote at the end. But I think it's an important point. Is women seem to want to integrate with men on their timetable to a certain degree, right? And okay, if we can't meet you at the gym or the bar or a restaurant or at school or at university or wherever the you might be, right? When can we?
Yeah, where? I don't get it. I mean, if you don't want to be approached if you're at a bar, and I understand if you're alone and it's weird, but I think you can simply say, depending on the type of man, hopefully he will take this as a no as a no. But if you say, hey, I'm not interested, hey, I have a boyfriend. I've been approached in the store, I've been approached at clubs, I've been approached in the library, so just say no. It seems like the only place now that men are allowed to talk to women is online, on dating sites.
That's it. Otherwise you'll get cancelled. Right?
Yeah.
So if you talk to anyone in the grocery store or at a gym or when they're actually doing something, it's don't bother me, I'm trying to complete an activity.
Which is fair, but all you have to do is say, hey, again, don't bother me, I'm doing an activity. But that can't be across the board because if you're looking for someone, then you're not going to find that person. My mother used to tell me, make sure you dress cute when you're going to the grocery store because someone might talk to you, and that's the sort of feeling that I've always had.
So that's the hot take for today, is it? You must talk to the person at the grocery store if they are an attractive.
You might meet your partner in line at the grocery store.
So the big question is that Walmart? Is that Kroger?
Is it the top of the line Whole Foods?
Oh, I wouldn't go to Whole Foods.
Well, don't dress like a slob.
Don't dress like a slob. All right, be good when you go to the grocery store, guys. That's the top take.
That's what my mother told me, and I'm telling you.
Good for her mother. All right, so hopefully you made it to the end of this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. Hopefully some controversy in the comments below. That's what we like. We want to hear the discussion points. And we will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.